Man, he has been gone for a while. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth? Do you really think that Miss Shana is the Yada Goddessu? Yes, if my logic is sound, I believe she is. Then I'm not gonna let her get away with ruining the name of the Yada Goddessu. But can you prove she's the Yada Goddessu is the question. If Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he'll find, then I should be able to. And just what are you hoping he'll find? Let's just say this. I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier. An experiment? As if that detective has the brains for high science. I don't know, he built a bug-sweeping bot. Like freaking grade school. I think he's got some going on there. Wasn't that mentally taxing? I had him use the same escape route as the Yada Goddessu. And what did you find out by doing that? First, that it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving wall door. Second, that by going through there, his coat was covered in ash and Babalesian ink. Who cares what his coat was covered in? It's not worth that much anyway. But is it really worth so little? I believe that it's actually quite a meaningful result, the value of which I'm about to prove. Chickadee, check this noise! Miss Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see, sir! Oh? So, what are these things that you found? Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir. You found a coat? You hear that, Mr. Edgeworth? He found a coat! Maybe it's the one the person I was chasing was wearing. Yes, the possibility does exist now, doesn't it? Agent Shana, were these pieces of evidence not in that room when you examined it? Fweh. Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. Oh yeah, then what are they? They all belong to me. They weren't getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Yeah, okay, so that somehow makes them not suspicious? What are you, a dumb? Oh. Thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. May I have them back now so that you can't use them to incriminate me? Nope, sorry. These items that the detective brought back are incredibly significant. Well, one of them is. I request that we be allowed to examine them. They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission. Objection! I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation. But if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this. I say let them look at your stuff, Shana. Lang! Shana, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right? What? I guess so. All right, go ahead and examine whatever you'd like. After all, I have nothing to hide except for all of the things I'd rather keep hidden. Huh, good. Now, let us begin. So which Agent Shana's belongings are you going to examine? Which Agent Shana's belongings are you going to examine, sir? The coat, freaking obviously. Let's examine the coat. Yes, sir. Oh, look at that, a long black coat. Huh. It appears you managed to stain your coat rather badly, Agent Shana. The Yada Goddessu that Kay saw was wearing a coat, and I'm beginning to wonder if this stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace. No, you have it wrong. That soot probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire. What about this dark substance around the hem of your coat? Oh, I didn't realize that the hem was that dirty. I'm sure it's just some water mixed with soot from when I was helping with the fire. I don't think so. You can get away with such a transparent lie. Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. I'll punch you in the gabba, I swear. This is the same pattern of dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace. Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know. So unless you can prove that the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace, which I can. But how? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe. Noodles for everyone! Me, sir? What did I do? This coat. This is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for. I had been hoping to find the coat that the person Kay saw was wearing. And thanks to you, we proved that going through the fireplace would sully a coat. I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy for the praise, sir. All that remains is for us to show what the dark substance on the coat hem is. Oh? And you think you can do that? Of course I can! This is the dark substance that's sullied the hem of this coat. Check out this inky nonsense. Wachanga! Battle's ink? Yes, this is what will prove that the coat went through the fireplace. According to Ambassador Palladino, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning. You told us about that already, so I don't really see the point in mentioning it again. The point, you absolute buffoon, is that he spilled some ink onto the back wall of the fireplace at that time. Don't ask me how that happened. He just did, and it helped me out, so I'm not complaining. If the dark substance on this coat turns out to be Babalesian ink, then it prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace wall. Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yadagadasu, but we're not finished yet. You have no way of proving whether or not this is Babalese ink on the coat, Em. Oh, but I do! And I intend to show that is ink in a few seconds. How? How, you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is how I will prove that the dark substance on the coat is the ink. Touch the coat, wear the coat! No, burn the coat! Burn the coat! We can find out whether that is Babalese ink or not by lighting it on fire. That's how you're gonna prove that it's Babalese ink? Yes? If you could please cut a section of the dark stained area for me, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you here and now what the dark substance is. Sorry to do this, but I'm gonna have to cut off a bit of your coat. Go ahead. I wasn't planning to wear it anymore anyway. Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something, I don't know. Oh, I got some matches. I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs. And if I could please have one, Kay, we can get this experiment underway. We about to build Nye up in here. Hey-oh, it's green. The flame. It's the same color as the flame's wit crystal oil produces. Which means Babalese ink is a product of wit crystal oil. And when lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yadagadasu's other wing. Miss Shana, you're the fake Yadagadasu. The one who killed my father. It's about time you came clean, Agent Shana. Or should I say, Callisto you. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. You're not serious, are you? Do I look like the joking type to you? Seriously, look into my eyes and actually say that I'm a jokey guy. Callisto you? I've never heard that name before in my life. That manner of speaking and that attitude, you haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday and then tried to frame me for it. Oh, really? And you have proof? You insist that I am this Callisto you woman, but you can't prove it. If you have no proof, then I'm afraid you won't be able to lay a single finger on me. Well, ain't it convenient that I totally do then? The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of night. However, the light of dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true ugly form to the world. You know, you always found Edgeworth's manner of speaking to be overly flowery and unnecessary. But I feel like it really is apt in this situation. Enough poetry! I want to see some evidence! Do they have something that can prove that she's Callisto you? I do. It's something that the second Yadagadasu has preserved for us these last 7 years. Do me the honor, Mr. Edgeworth. I will, Kay. For we have finally come to the end. We'll prove her to be Callisto you with this and clip this Yadagadasu's wings for good. I mean, if it was preserved, then I think I know where this is going. It's your stank juice! This perfume. This will prove you to be Callisto you. It will? Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. This belonged to Miss Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means that a few of her fingerprints are on here as well. This is that bottle of perfume you spilled, which I had preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Burn Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades. Which means that your fingerprints are still on here. Every last one. We can clear everything up if we were to compare the prints on this to your own. Now come, Agent Shina. Will you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? I think she's about to blow a gasket. Oh, that's disturbing. Jesus. That's the second creepiest Ace Attorney breakdown I think I've seen. Still satisfying, but creepy. It looks like you've seen right through me yet again. You're starting the biggest chill down my spine, Edgeworth. Callisto, you. So you've shown your true face at last. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than that time 7 years ago. Shanat, you're Lang, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man. I mean, that's all true. But I mean, still, ow. So, you were a spy all along. A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after. Someone who's been feeding them intel on Interpol all this time. Very good. Maybe you're not as big of an idiot as I thought. I mean, to be fair, he didn't make a great case for himself. Callisto, you. The woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagatasu. That's right. Callisto, you. That's just one of my many names. But even that's just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief Yatagatasu. You're really gonna keep claiming that, huh? Callisto, you. This time you won't escape, for this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're the one who left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And had you not used that Yatagatasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn in my side, just like your father always was. Okay, well, that's a serious thing to just say. You're gonna be okay, Kay. I promise. Kay, don't! You. I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father. She gon' punch her. You really are just like him. Mr. Faraday, too, possessed such laughable honesty. Okay, that's not good. Kay! You let go of Kay right now, pal. You despicable! Let go of me, you filthy! Okay, this suddenly got a whole lot worse. Hey, Lang, want to be useful for once? You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagatasu. But that's impossible! My father was the one who created Little Thief. Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagatasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? Well, the last time you told me that, it was to pull a gun out on me, and you already did that, so... Why, it has 3 legs? There are 3 main reasons why the Yatagatasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagatasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagatasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And the third thing that we're not going to recap. No, it can't be. Did you finally figure it out? Do you finally know the real identity of the Yatagatasu? The real identity of the Yatagatasu is... I admit to being confused. I believe the game is trying to get me to say neither, because they both have a claim to make that they both are? The real identity of the Yatagatasu is neither Burn Faraday nor Callisto U. But by that same token, they are also both the real Yatagatasu. How very perceptive of you. Wait. Oh! Okay, so it's got... Well, then that means that Detective Bad, he's also part of this then. Because he's the only... Yeah. No, 3 legs because they're 3 people. I think that's the case. No way! The single person known as the Great Thief Yatagatasu never existed. Mr. Edgeworth, No, I refuse to believe this. The Yatagatasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. The Yatagatasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And a lawyer would have the opportunity to learn the layout of client corporations. Skill number 2. The Yatagatasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. And a good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal. And skill number 3. The Yatagatasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever. And those pauses tell me everything I need to know. Alright then! Detective Bad! It was only natural for the Yatagatasu to never leave evidence behind. Because the lead detective on the case hid it all away. You're the 3rd member of the Yatagatasu? You. I've been looking for you for a long time. 7 long years, but I finally got you. Hi, Mr. Bad. Long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. If you were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago? Oh, why indeed? It was nothing personal, really, kid. He was just another person I had to kill. How could you say that? I grow weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time I won't miss. Stop! You! Okay. It's over, Shana. Leg. Whoa, hello! Your leg! Man done just got himself shot in the leg. Okay. Agent Lang. Yeah. You idiot. What were you thinking jumping in front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for? I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, it doesn't change the fact that she's my subordinate. Lang, that's monstrously stupid. And as long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her. Not even from you. You really are an idiot, you know that? Yeah, she's not even appreciative of it. That's fine with me. You should know by now this is just how I am. Reckless, stupid, and I ultimately a good guy. Hey, sis. Yes? I want you to conduct a full body search. Shana might have another weapon on her. Alright. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please. Francisca, I think he asked you for a reason? Sir. Okay, never mind. I mean, if nobody minds. Hey, I found something. What's this, sir? Looks like the blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle. This is a great find, Detective. It is, sir? Let's try pairing up this blade with this handle. The only handle I have in my inventory, as a matter of fact. I believe this blade actually belongs with the handle that was on the murder weapon. Hey, they fit together perfectly. This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles were switched. I'm gonna go return this Balbony's knife now. Alright, I trust that she'll make sure that it is returned to Ambassador Palido. Babyliss knife handle given to Detective Gumshoe. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did it. Callisto you! Bulletproof! For the only times these handles could have been switched is just after Mr. Cochin's murder. Which means that you must be Mr. Cochin's killer. You killed Mr. Cochin with the Alabastian knife. Although admittedly, you didn't move when you did it. That was interestingly animated. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Babyliss knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open-air stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up? Objection. Your voice still doesn't fit your appearance in any shape, way, or form. You crafted an engaging tale, Edgeworth, but there are 2 problems with it. Problems? In what respect? Why do you think my real reason was in allowing her to chase after me? For there to be a suspect other than you? I mean, that was my assumption. You wanted somebody to take the fall? It was also I could capture Kay Faraday. What? Yeah, isn't that what I just... When I saw you using the device at Gatewaterland, I knew right away that you were Byrne Faraday's daughter. I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagatasu. So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Cochin's murder on me? Yes, I knew you'd show up at the embassy tonight. I thought that went without saying, but okay. I was confused as to why this was being presented to me as information that I didn't already know. So I thought to use you, but pinning the murder on you wasn't my only goal. You had another? Yeah. Once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you and take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagatasu. You were gonna take little thief away from me? That's just rude! 7 years ago, it was thanks to that device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key. And the person who stole the Yatagatasu's key was Mr. Faraday. You. That incident 7 years ago? What was the catalyst behind it? In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Yatagatasu was becoming a bit of a problem. It wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Yatagatasu? Why? There is no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What's that supposed to mean? The person I take orders from hasn't changed, even now to this day. Does this mean that the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Kochin? I mean, I guess not. Then the real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. You done asking what you need to know? Because if so, we should probably get going. I am bleeding profusely. That bullet went straight through my leg. I need a hospital yesterday. You gonna tell me everything you did tonight? Do you understand, Shana? I guess I should tell you then that I was the one who set the Babalese embassy on fire. Why did you do that? I suppose it was to destroy all evidence of the counterfeit bills. That was what the smuggling ring was trying to do. But then why start 2 fires? Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. For some reason. It's your job to complete your investigation, after all. Why should I make things easier for you? I've had my fun. Now it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Cool. Wait, Miss Shana. Yes? When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks that I thought, well, that I should return them to you. Kay, you're a ridiculously kind girl given the circumstances. You can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. Mostly due to the short hair thing, so I'm not sure why you even have these. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. No, I want to keep them. Suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story? I didn't kill anyone tonight. What? I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of it as a hint, if you will. Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, Agent Lang? Mark my words, I'm not done here, and I'll be back. Dude, you really might want to get your leg checked out. It's gonna get gangrenous. It's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I don't care! I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. His anger appears to have negated the sensation of pain in his injured leg. I don't think... Given the angle of which it feels like it should have shattered a bone. Alright, he's slow moving. It's finally over, Kay. I feel like I've peered into her heart a little, you know? It's so cold and dark and incredibly lonely. The person who was giving her all these commands. The one who thought my father was a problem to be removed. That person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring. Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they were selling for the Jam and Ninja show. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome. That's more than understandable. I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. There's a bit of soil stuck on the ends of these sticks. I noticed that on the picture. Yeah, okay. Hair sticks with dirt on them. Interesting. Oh, I guess it's that time already, huh? So it's midnight, the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops, thanks a bunch. You've really done a lot for everyone all these years. Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire, and we almost didn't make it. But we did it. We solved everything. But that's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the Yatagatasu, were chasing after. The legend of that Yatagatasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I mean, I know, but it's interesting that you would point it out. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you. Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you also part of the Yatagatasu? As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you. Uncle Bad. Don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Oh no, Gumshoe's living in denial. Unfortunately, it isn't. Come on, sir. She's just yanking on my chin. My chin? Sure. I mean, sure. My chain, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth? Detective Bad. Wait, no. You're no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Yatagatasu. You too, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, here. I should give these back to you. These are the pages from my KG-8 case files that the Yatagatasu stole from my office. Wait, what? Well, it is nice to have them back, Mr. Edgeworth. I must apologize for last night. You're the one who pointed a gun at me! Rude! So the Yatagatasu who stole into my room was you, was it? Wait, did that mean... What? Tell me it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir. It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG-8 incident. It was a very emotionally trying case. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor and I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. You was the elder sister of the victim in the case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. That's how we formed the Yatagatasu and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings companies had with the ring. They were doing a crime, but they were doing crimes that solved crimes, so dang. I mean, I can't excuse, you know, Callisto or whatever her freaking name is at this point. I don't even know Shana was supposed to be her real name. Or that was her real hair. I have no idea. Point is, other than them, you know, Bad and Faraday seem like good dudes, though. Including companies that dealt with the Amano group. Mr. Amano's conglomerate. We called ourselves the Yatagatasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We had finally arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. And Faraday, he died for it. And her only explanation for doing so is because she had to, and it's her destiny to betray people. I feel like there has to be at least a little bit more there. But why? Wasn't she the sister of the victim in the KG-8 incident? After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG-8 incident, CCU, she never had a sister. So then she was just a long-term sleeper agent for a smuggling ring? That's actively insane. What kind of smuggling ring goes through that kind of effort? What? So that means Shana wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto U was also another pseudonym. From the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring. But wait, hang on a second. Hold up. I didn't say, but like, wait, no, hang on. Okay. How old was... I don't remember how old, if it said how old Callisto was in the flashback. But that was time even before. Was she a spy as like a teenager? How does that work? Or does she just look more youthful than she actually is? I'm probably overthinking it, but that's interesting. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the beginning. Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck out onto this page of this case file, please use it wisely. Trump card? That photo that we stuck on there, try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago. It's the mark of the Yatagatasu. But why? This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. This was something Cochin had on him at the time of the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU. But why is the card a adorned with the mark of the Yatagatasu. The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagatasu was because of the three-legged raven mark that the smuggling ring's boss used. So you stole their branding? Apparently, orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently, it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. So you mean the cards were written in Babalese ink? The fact that the card that Cochin was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. And that's why it's inverted! Oh, so that's what those white cards are. The great thief that used the mark, that only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader, that we were only a few steps behind. Alright, so it was a taunting method. That's pretty awesome, honestly. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you. The lollipop? Oh no, what is this, sir? This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG-8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession. This important definitive piece of evidence. But I thought it was stolen. How do you have it? The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amano. And he had it locked away and hidden away for all this time. But we forced him to tell us where it was finally, after the other day's kidnapping case. Why didn't he just destroy it? Wouldn't that have made way more sense? This video. What? Don't come any closer, I'm warning you. Oh, this is the same video as the one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me. It would seem that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amano was prepared to take on the boss someday, and the video was his insurance. Oh, okay, that's fair. That's where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve the video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. Didn't work, though. You saw it for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence? That card was not the calling card of the Yatagatasu, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsman. The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsman thought to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal. For me to use either one is... Whether you use them or not is up to you. But they will be of help to you when you take on someone who is above the law. Is the boss one of those who cannot be brought to court that Mr. Faraday spoke of? Detective Bad, there is no limit to the law, for it is the people who determines the limits to them. You still insist that, even now? You really are something else. And I leave the rest in your hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, the handcuffs. It's time to lock up the last remaining member of the— No, Bad! You didn't do that bad a thing. I mean, you kind of did, but no. Pops. Don't ever lose your detective spirit. Pops. Why is this happening? This isn't justice. Like I always told you, do not get emotionally involved. Now let's go. Yes, sir. This has been an incredibly depressing 20 minutes for everyone involved. Is this really the end of the legend? Sure seems that way. That sucks! Oh, man. Okay. So, now what, though? I honestly am uncertain of what happens next. So now we know who the real Yatagatasu really was. And yet, there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons cross country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in. We'll need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. I see. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Hang on, Gumshoe. Let me look through my inventory really quick. Okay, so we got rid of that. Document, the body, spear. Why is this still relevant? When is a box of hot dogs gonna be a thing? It's very confusing to me. Also, flowers and a pick. What is all this business? So very confused, man. So very confused. Wait a second. Hang on. Wait, hang on a second. I just noticed on the sprite. What the? Hang on. Hang on. How do I zoom in? Yeah. Hang on. Can I? I'm not good at moving this thing around at all, but can I examine this for a second? It's a striking flower ornament on the handle of this knife. Compared to the Babalese knife, the larger one gives Alabas more presence. Okay, but doesn't that look just like there's a little piece missing, and it looks like this. That might be a thing, actually. Okay, I'll stash that away in my back pocket in case it ends up being relevant. I hope so. Man, that'd be awesome if it was. Anyway, VCR. And isn't this like the year at least 2019 at this point? Why are there VCRs? Even in the year 2009, when this game came out, those weren't a thing anymore. I mean, they were still a thing, but nobody used them. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us. This piece of evidence from the KG-8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Well, yeah, they apparently were trying to steal it away because it gives away very important information. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us, I'm much too lazy to put it in myself. Or maybe Edgeworth is a lot like Batman and prefers beta tapes. Who knows? This man, it's Manny Cochin. I can tell by his ridiculous hair. And he's holding a knife in his hand. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. An apartment building? Well, how do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG-8 incident, and I memorized it in my noggin. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. Yes, that is basically what Francisca just said. Thank you for confirming. At the time, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I mean, yeah, the guy that they had on trial walking into the victim's apartment holding a knife, that's kind of definitive evidence. You can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. Otherwise, why steal it? Why hide it? The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Where? Wait, what was that? Eh? That bit you just played just now. Please show it to me again. What you doing? His car! This car! There's something we cannot overlook. What's that, sir? Well, wagering a random guess, I'm gonna guess probably the flag that's on the front. This is the national flag of the Principality of Catopia. Because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Yeah. Ah, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time. Ambassador Alba? Okay, so I'm gonna be admittedly throwing a bit of a Hail Mary here, but if Palino isn't the ultimate bad guy of this whole thing, Alba's the only other character left. So, I got my eye on you, old man. If the game wants to prove me to be dumb and assuming such a thing or just saying such a thing, it's welcome to do so. But right now, I'm gonna take one step back in case I gotta sprint. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. Considering how irrelevant he's ultimately been up till now, honestly, it might fit. This tragedy would never have happened. I'm truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot, Curtius, baby! You couldn't chase after a simple thief! Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned the embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. Can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. That's exceptionally suspicious of you to request. Especially when you consider the fact that it's past midnight and I imagine any of the visitors are already either gone or asleep. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Babalese police? Ambassador, we were so close. Just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, no. All right, no. Yeah, he did it. That's true, however, as he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Somebody said hold it. Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Wait, Lang? What the hell are you doing back? You still have a bullet wound. Yo. Oh, he has the glasses. Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? You've been shot. Because I have to solve this case no matter what, even if I end up losing my leg to infection, I guess. It couldn't have been more than like 10 minutes. That's not enough time to even properly, seal up the wound. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, those are pretty good circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. But what about if you didn't? This radar investigation really will come to a close. Ambassador Alba, I get it now, I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel, even if your unnecessary laughing was mildly creepy. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You know? The killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Shana. I mean, I guess I don't really have much of a reason to believe her when she said she didn't kill anyone, but at the same time, I feel like I'm supposed to believe it. Langzi says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask2's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Franziska von Karma. What? Are you actually kidding me right now? I was the killer? Wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although that whip is actually quite... Okay, not the time, Gumshoe. You had that one coming. Hold your tongue in that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. The hesitation is of note. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey, sis. Remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give a speech? He called you into his office, right? Yes, he did, but what does that have to do with anything? Get into that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabast and Babel, did you not? Objection! And where is your evidence that I am the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring the case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you get me permission? I have a theory. With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good! Then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset. Not that I blame her. I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. It's Franziska von Goddamn Karma. That nose never lowers.
Hold it.
Agent Lang. Someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, well in that case I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet. If you like Kaya, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Yeah! Sounds like this is gonna get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go.